It's not for you. It's not good.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be legal. And that's where I believe in government oversight. There should be like an actual government person who can never get a job with any of these organizations, never get a job with it. It should be like, if you agree to take this job on, you'll be well compensated, but you will never be able to work for pharmaceutical drug companies.
Yep.
Ever.
That
should be a prerequisite.
simple, like even with food, we could overcomplicate food. Okay, why not just say, if you don't ship it to Europe, don't ship it to Americans?
Yeah. Duh.
How is that hard? If we don't want to do the double-blind studies and the research, and I get it, and it's hard to do, and it's confusing, but at minimal, we can follow the guidance of countries who have better health standards than the U.S. has today.
Just think about what you said about war. And think about what you said about the American people, how many die from chronic disease every year. And think about how much money we have spent on a war that we're not even in. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was the overall, what's the latest? Didn't they just send another few billions? A little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, I wonder how much they set aside for those people in North Carolina and Tennessee from that hurricane, because those people are fucked.
Yep.
A lot of people are dead, man. I was reading this account. It was a horrific account of these people, grandparents and a child that were on a roof. And it was before the roof swept away, the building swept away, and they drowned. But there's a photograph of the last photograph of them on the roof, and they're terrified. And this little girl and her grandparents are on this roof. And the water is everywhere. I mean, there's so many washed out streets and so many washed out bridges, and the roads are gone. Have you seen some of the aerial photographs?
I have. It's terrible.
It's terrible. Houses floating down the street in Asheville, North Carolina, just floating down the street. And how much relief are they going to get? Is it going to be like Maui, where you give them $700? Yeah. Which is the most, that's more insulting than giving them no money. A one-time fee of $700, you lost your house in the most catastrophic wildfire in the history of North America. You're going to give them $700 each, but you're going to give Ukraine 170 whatever billion.
Yeah, and I heard Tulsi on here talking, and I'm like, God, man, when you look at, like, there's a lot to gain by those people not being able to afford to stay. Like, they're essentially homeless, and then they still got to pay their mortgages. They still have to pay these bills. And if they're not going to give them long-term mortgage relief.
That's very valuable land if everybody defaults. And not only that, but the governor was on record, give a speech like right after the fire. Yeah. And one of the things they talked about was the state taking that land, which is an insane thing to do, right? Was it the mayor? Who was it that said that? It was the mayor or the governor? But it was just the fact that they said it out loud is so insane. Yeah. In the wake of these people suffering this catastrophic loss. They didn't even know how many people were dead at that time. People were just missing, kids missing, burnt alive. Who knows how many people died? I don't even think they have an accurate count right now of how many people died.
Well, we live in a world where things change so fast.
See if you can find that.
I get how people would get overwhelming, because I try to follow it all, and that's why I stick to my niche of healthcare.
Yeah. But this is crazy.
I know.
This is crazy that they're saying. Now, think about allocating that kind of money towards healthcare. 102, the death toll from the deadliest wildfire in over a century has risen to 102. Yeah, but what I asked you is, what did the governor say about acquiring the land? Not the death toll.
Yeah.
I don't think I think 102 is the current estimate, but I think there's a lot of people missing.
What do you know about, like, the Ukraine? One of the things, and again, I don't know enough to. I'm curious, because I know you've interviewed a lot of smarter people than me. I was told that one of the leverage points for the Ukraine in order to get funding was to put up land as collateral through, like, their farmland is put up as collateral on the loans that are being provided, and those loans are essentially being provided by
Dave Smith was explaining it to me. I don't know. I haven't researched it. I haven't read anything about it, but yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
Because I always look and go, well, there's no such thing as, everything's biased. No such thing as a free lunch. So what is the real agenda, and who's funding and why is always my question, just from seeing other sectors and what happens.
Of course. Always. There's always money behind it. Yeah. But there's also, Ukraine is one of the most mineral-rich places on Earth. Like, it's worth trillions of dollars and all sorts of different, like, groovy shit that we need to make stuff with. Yeah. What did the governor say?
I'm trying to find the real quote. I'll just go with what I have right now.
But why don't you put it up for me?
I am. It's up.
Oh, okay. So this is just...
that's the only one I've found so far. It's in the
I'm already looking for states to acquire... ways for states to acquire Lahaina. Put that in a search engine.
I did. That's why I'm on Twitter, because it wasn't coming up in a search engine.
So he said it in a speech, but it's
crazy
not coming
too, how
up.
quick stuff can be suppressed and disappear.
Yeah, you got to look... I started using the Brave browser recently. I gave up on DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo seems to have gone the way of Google. It's very difficult to find things that are inconvenient. But Brave seems to be uncensored, and it doesn't seem to be curated. But after I said that, they'll probably get them too. I don't know who to use. I don't know what to do anymore. It's like the whole thing is so
That's
bonkers.
where all of this gets so hard. It's like... I want to believe there's truth in that we have somewhere where we still have integrity and honesty and transparency. It doesn't mean you always get it right. But even redacting the articles doesn't happen.
It's only in independent journalism now. You get that from Michael Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi, Glenn Greenwald. You get that from those type of people. You don't get that from anywhere else anymore. And it's good that we have those type of people, that they're there and they'll hold people accountable and tell you the real numbers of things and and give you the facts behind what caused conflicts, not just report on the conflicts, but explain to you what happened.
It's a fact check I found. I think this is what he said.
Said, I'm already thinking about ways for the state to acquire that land so we could put it into workforce housing, to put it back into families, or to make it open spaces in perpetuity as a memorial to people who are lost. Whoa. That is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you say state to acquire that land, and we'll decide the awesome things to do with it. That's now you took very, very, very valuable land. And you could say, hey, we're going to sell it to a resort, and the resort is going to donate to all these wonderful funds. How many people are missing from the fire, Jamie?
Oh, my God. That's so crazy.
Because the problem with fires is like you need like dental records and shit. Like when it gets down to someone dying in like an inferno.
Well, if they're missing at this point, they're gone. So
I have a buddy of mine that was a firefighter, and he told me some crazy shit. It's just going into a building with burning people in it is madness. Okay, so 1,000 people reported missing.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this death toll...
way off.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's
85 deaths were confirmed, but I think the problem is when they can say 102 deaths confirmed, and they don't say, but yet there's 990 people missing. You can say that because it's very difficult to confirm who these people are. There's not much left. It's so scary. Fire is so fucking scary.